Is it our shared biology, our capacity for empathy, or selective choice and worth that determines our equality and compassion? My name is Wyatt Packer, and today I'm going to be going through Philip Dick's book, Do Androids Dream of Electronic Sheep? The main topic I'm going to be covering today is what is considered human. So kind of the underlying theme of this book. We have a character named Rick Deckard, who is a bounty hunter for the Los Angeles Police Department. Now his job is essentially to hunt and kill these things called replicants. Replicants are synthetic bioengineered humans. They're essentially made in laboratories to look identical to that of a human being. These are kind of the main points that you gotta understand in the book, is humanity has evolved to create human replicants identical to that of a human. These replicants were made to be slaves and servants to humans. Humanity had advanced so much that they had to migrate to Mars because of the deterioration of Earth. They use these replicants to help with that migration. And then, like I said, Rick Deckard is a bounty hunter for this department, and his job is to hunt and kill replicants who are disobeying or revolting. So these are just kind of the similarities and differences from that of replicants and humans, and I'm going to focus on four mainly. Lifespan. Replicants only live to about 4 years old, and I'll get more into that in a second. And then replicants have an increase in neurological and physical abilities, which could stem the argument that because of that, replicants could be considered the higher life form from that of humans. And then lastly, reproduction. Replicants cannot reproduce. So addressing the ethical problem. So essentially the ethical problem is in this book is Rick, as a bounty hunter who's killing these replicants, has to come to terms with what is it making it ethically or morally okay for me to kill a replicant from that of a human being, which essentially no human being can tell the difference between a replicant and a human being without administering tests. So he kind of asks himself, what makes it ethically okay for me to do this if they're essentially identical to us? Now these are some questions I want you to ask yourself. What makes us human? What makes it ethically okay to kill animals or lower life forms? And what makes us empathetic? All of these are questions he has to kind of ask himself internally to come to a conclusion on this topic. So kind of the dilemma in depth. If replicants can think, feel, and act like humans, should their artificial origins make them any less worthy of moral consideration? Kind of the idea that if they are born in a lab or made in a lab, does that automatically strip them of societal equality? And then one of the characters in the book, his name is Phil. He's a fellow bounty hunter, just like Rick from a neighboring department. And they actually come into contact each other while hunting for a certain replicant. Over the course of their journey, Rick finds out that Phil is in fact a replicant. Even he doesn't know it. So he kind of has to tell Phil that he is a replicant and he has to kill him. But Phil kind of asks him this question, which I kind of love and wasn't pointed out a lot in the book, but he kind of pointed out that if I were to go and kill you right now, like, would you still argue that we are not ethically or equals? And I believe that's a great point in the book that I love, because I feel like it applies to our real world so much. We often feel like different races, different ethnicities, genders aren't as equal to us. And I feel like that we gotta realize that as human beings, we all have the capacity to obtain vast knowledge and vast power, which essentially makes us all equal. Then I'm gonna go into some varying philosophies. Some of these philosophies are philosophies that we've talked in this class over the course of the past semester, and are philosophies I believe are portrayed to the book very well. So utilitarianism, basically the reasoning might argue this is acceptable if the majority benefits, but it conflicts with the suffering and autonomy of replicants. Should the utility of the majority outweigh the rights of a few? So kind of the idea that replicants have benefited humanity so much that should we kind of look the other way just from the sheer benefit that these replicants give to humanity. And then deontology, from this perspective, replicants' treatment could be condemned if they are rational beings deserving of inherent dignity. Kind of the idea that they kind of act and feel the same way that we do, so just walking past them on the street, you'd give them the same dignity that you would a human being. Then virtue ethics, a virtuous person might argue that humanity's treatment of replicants reflects moral failings, as it disregards their potential for shared virtues like courage or loyalty. So this is actually a very major point to think, because the reason that these replicants only have a 4-year lifespan is because they have the ability to evolve. After those 4 years, they have the ability to obtain kind of free thinking, like cognitive thoughts, the ability to feel empathy, and possibly even the ability to reproduce. So I want you to kind of ask yourself that, is after these 4 years, when they're able to attain the exact mental and neurological abilities of that of humans, would that not make us equal to them? And then lastly, just kind of my personal interpretation of this kind of ethical dilemma is that essentially I believe that replicants should be treated as human beings. I mean, they're able to experience the same feelings, the same pain, the same emotions as we are, and therefore should be treated equally. I believe that's what puts us human beings above some other life forms, is because we are very social creatures. We're able to experience very complex emotions and ideas, and that allows us to kind of create social environments which allow us to build advanced infrastructure in these advanced societies. And I believe that's what puts us apart from any other life forms on Earth. And I believe that replicants have the ability to feel and absorb the same things that we can, so therefore they should be treated as equals. Their pain feels the same as my pain. That's kind of the idea here. But yeah, overall, I feel like this topic could definitely be applied into our day-to-day lives. And yeah, thank you so much.